Hello. Hello, hello. It's kind of resting on my chest. Cool.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
What do you do for a living?
I am a welder by trade, musician at heart.
Sure.
Musician's the goal, but right now I'm managing a weld shop.
How did you get into welding and fabrication?
It's weird. So I had this job picking groceries, and if anybody knows anything about picking groceries, it's brutal, and I did it overnight. And like, I eventually got fired because I just really sucked at it. It was just hard. Like, I just wasn't good at it. And I was down on my luck out skating with a homie back home, and he was just like, come to this place at this time. I was like, all right, whatever. Came there, and they just put me on a welding job. Never seen a welder, never touched a welder, didn't know anything about it. He was just like, here, pull this, make this thing stick to that thing. And I don't know, 9 years later, I'm managing a shop now.
Now you make a living doing it. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. But you say that you would prefer to make a living playing music. How long have you been playing music?
I've been playing music for about 21 years now, consecutively. Well, I mean, all my life, really. My dad was a career musician. So it's just been around forever, as long as I can remember.
Your dad a drummer too?
He was a guitar. He was anything with strings on it that you could play notes on. He could play it.
That's pretty sick.
All of it.
That's cool. That's cool. What instrument do you not know how to play that you'd like to learn how to play in the next couple of years?
Good question. I'm kind of like my dad, where I can play a little bit of everything.
Sure, sure. Pete's like that too.
Who?
Pete.
Oh, word.
Pete can.
I guess honestly, singing.
Yeah.
I never locked up singing. I took lessons for a little bit when I was a kid. Never had it. Maybe it was a confidence thing at the time, but I just never unlocked that skill.
Sure. So you've been playing a lot of live music this year.
A lot.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Pretty fun.
What's that like?
So I quit music for a little bit. I went on like a 3-year hiatus, and it was because kind of the scene that I was in at the time, but like everything kind of leading up to before you literally sit down on your kit and play was just kind of starting to run on me. Just kind of wearing me out. But nowadays it's a lot better. I'm around around a bunch of people that I like now, and it's fucking great. Like, that part is really fun, as well as actually performing in front of people.
That's cool.
It's
That's
sick.
Very cool. That's very cool. What's the next big thing you want to do in your life?
Big thing in my life, man, I want to get a car. I'm so tired of the Jeep I'm riding around in right now. That's like the next big step for me.
That's a big thing, especially right now.
Yeah, man.
They're hard to come by and they ain't cheap, that's for sure.
It's not easy, man. I got really excited about the Maverick, and then it's like, oh yeah, it's not a real car. You can't get it. But yeah, that's definitely the next step for me eventually.
They definitely told people that thing was going to be like available for $19,000, like it was a thing, you know?
Yeah,
what I mean?
and here I'm like, oh, I'm in the web, dude. I have the full thing built out, 24. I can do that, no worries. Yeah.
Good luck.
Doesn't exist, not real.
Wild. What's your favorite thing to work on, like when it comes to fabrication work? Like what do you enjoy doing? Like you like making stuff from scratch? Do you like repairing stuff?
I enjoy big projects, very big structural projects. They just kind of make the day go by, and if there's some intricacy in there, just anything that kind of makes your brain, like you have to stop what you're doing, and you can't just, oh, I'm gonna put this here, I'm gonna make this square. Like, you gotta stop, think about it, pull your measurement, sit down with it, learn it, and then produce it.
Do you think that there's a similarity in that between that and skateboarding and maybe even that and music?
Definitely both. I'm big on just kind of tying all of my little hobbies together and making connections out of them. I'll definitely, with skating for sure, learning a new trick, failing, falling, trying it again and again and again, until eventually you kind of work your brain around making it happen. Definitely the same thing with drums, with learning chops or learning something in a new time signature, where you fail, and then finally you sit down with it long enough and it starts to make a little sense to you.
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild how stuff seems so far away, and then when it clicks, it's like it's always been there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's so funny. They feel tricks can feel so far away sometimes.
Yeah.
And then they're not.
And then you just, one day you wake up and it's just like you had an epiphany overnight and you're like, oh, I'm just not jumping high enough. Something silly.
Yeah. So you didn't grow up here, right?
I did not. Grew up in Madrid, Alabama. And if you've never heard of that, it's because it's this big and nothing has ever happened there besides a lot of really gnarly racism.
Yeah, Alabama has that sometimes.
Alabama has that, but it also has some very beautiful scenery.
Oh, it's a beautiful place, and there are beautiful people that come from there.
There are beautiful people. I miss my friends a lot, man. A couple of my friends called me, FaceTimed me last night for a happy birthday. It's really sick. Chilling in Dothan.
That's so awesome.
Oh yeah.
So last time I looked at our text messages. Last time we talked directly, other than about this, you're tinkering on a carburetor.
Oh yeah.
How's that going?
It's still sitting in my living room.
That'll happen.
Yeah. It's mostly built. You know what? I'm in the repair, like putting it back together
Sure.
part.
You're on the right side of the hill.
Yeah. But it just seems so far away. So I just need to sit down with it and just like do it. But
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's been pretty sweet. You know, weirdly healing. I've learned, like, putting it together, just having something to work on. It's just been really nice, you know, fix something.
Yeah. It's an interesting thing. Like, I don't know. It's like it's again one of these things where you're like, you know, you're gonna fail a little bit, and you know you're gonna break it a little bit, but you know ultimately it is doable because there's there's a million of them out there. So
yeah,
clearly they work.
I had to figure out like 4 or 5 stripped screws situations in this carburetor because it's 30 years old or something. Yeah. So learning how to figure that out, failing a few times, yeah.
Well, I'm proud of you for not just going to eBay and buying the $109 Chinese replica, because you absolutely could have.
It might be in my cart.
I can't say that I would blame you, dude. You know what I mean? Like, it's miserable. It's miserable. So you're doing a little home recording as well?
Yeah, that's always been a big thing for me, like talking about things you want to do sooner in life, like I'm already there kind of. Sure. But I've always kind of wanted a home studio, and now I have kind of like, not a fully fledged, but I've got microphones and recording software.
You've got the equivalent of having a quarter pipe in your backyard as opposed to having a skate park, but it's what you want and it's a start, because every quarter pipe added makes it a park, you know.
Right.
You go on from there.
Exactly. Yeah, and I'm there right now, and I can literally just sit. My situation with drumming right now has never been better in my life.
That's so good.
Just come home from work, I can just sit down for 2 hours if I want to and just go. Neighbors don't care. It's sick.
That's so sick that it's just easy. I mean, that's a really hard thing. Like that, again, things that make noise, things that are, you know.
Yeah, hey everyone in the neighborhood, do you mind if I just absolutely beat the shit out of the loudest instrument that there is for, 30 minutes? Is that cool? And yeah, they're cool.
So what is that carburetor attached to?
It is attached to a 1986 Kawasaki Vulcan 750. It's just this beautiful motorcycle that literally just happened upon our buddy Randy hollered at me and hollered at Chris, our other friend, and was like, hey, do you want this bike? And Chris already had one coming, so that got passed down to me next. Hey, do you want this bike? It's free?
It's from Randy's neighbor, right?
It's from Randy's neighbor.
Yeah, Randy was telling me a little bit.
Yeah, he just has it. So he's got this other bike. I'm not sure exactly what he has, but he's been riding that for the last 10 years, and this Kawasaki's just been sitting, you know, in like worked on condition in his garage for the past 10 years.
Nice.
Everything's fine. It's just been sitting there for a while. Literally, he's just like, he's tight as dude. He's just like, yeah, dude, like take it. Like got the title a couple weekends ago. It's just mine.
Sick.
It's the weirdest shit.
Now it just needs the cobwebs blown out of it.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, so cool. So cool.
Yeah, I'm stoked on that. All right.
What's the strangest project that's rolled through your shop in a while?
We had this like, it wasn't to anything, it wasn't structural, it wasn't like meant to be placed anywhere, it was just for this company's like showroom for like a trade show, and it was the gnarliest like set up like structural piece I had ever put my hands on. It was like 3-inch tubing, it was like 3/16 wall thick, and it had layers. It had like bottom square, structured up, top square, pyramided out, and it was apparently just holding this hose that was like 50 pounds or something, and it was massive.
Built like a doomsday device. And
Bro, I worked on it for 3 days, and I was like, what is this for? And they're like, oh, they're just gonna roll this around a room and be like, look at this pipe on top of it. Like, it had nothing to do with anything.
This is the fanciest show cart I ever heard of.
It's crazy the amount of money they put into just the cart for nothing.
Wild.
So that was pretty sick.
That is pretty sick. I love that. You said it was recently your birthday. We had a little bit of fun for your birthday, right?
Yeah. We started off with a little band practice, which is always fun, and then chilled for a little bit, and then the block held this sick little bocce ball tournament. That's fun. I've never really been much of an organized sports guy. Not that it was very organized, but
hardly.
But that was a sick one to learn.
It was fun.
It was a good time. All the homies were there. Got to hang out with Fresh, Eric, all the boys.
It's good.
Dylan pulled up.
It's always good to get everybody together. We have not been as good about that in the last year as we have in years past.
You know, I've been getting like Instagram stories or whatever, like what you did on this day, and I was like, damn, we were all in the same room. Like,
a lot more.
We haven't had that happen in a while.
No, it's been hard, dude. It's been hard.
Someone's just busy, you know, life.
Yep, and the heat doesn't help, man.
The heat has been taking me out, man.
We're getting like, I mean, I don't know, you're an animal. I've seen the clips. You go to OP on your lunch break, then you go back and weld in a 110 degree box.
Let me tell you the secret about this, right? You never, the second you touch AC, you're fucked. The second you get into it. When I go on lunch, I sit in my car, windows down. I'm not that much of an animal, but I sit in my car and I eat my hot, steaming, plant-based bowl of whatever I got from Walgreens, but I never touch the AC, and it just rides me through the day. Like, if you go ahead and start it, you're outside, you're hot the whole time, you don't cool it.
I agree, the AC does get you. I couldn't agree more.
But I'll be honest with you, there are times after I get back from that OP session and I'm like, dog.
I should not have done this.
Why?
It's very funny. But yeah, I was getting 10 or 12 minutes a day some days, like just because that was all I was gonna get.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been hard to get everybody together, but hopefully we'll be better about that as it cools down a bit.
Yeah, that's usually when we get together anyway.
Yeah, less sun.
Yeah.
More hanging.
Less sun, more hang.
where you're going to take your motorcycle as soon as you get it stable. Now I'm talking about like, you know, this thing is reliable to you. You're not worried about it for a weekend. Where are you going to go? Where's the first place you want to like stretch your legs?
Oh man. You know, I got a couple options for that. One of my good buddies in New Orleans recently also just got a bike. Shout out Ken. And I love New Orleans. I went on my 21st birthday and I pulled up, met everyone, met the Humidity Squad, met Phil, those dudes, really sick guys.
Really sick.
And just immediately blacked out. Off rip.
No, I wouldn't believe that.
That town is amazing. I'd love to go back. That's a ride.
It is a ride.
Maybe
a fun one.
That'd be a sick one. There and of course back home, back to Dothan.
You sure?
I think we got a skateboard.
Right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, man. This is sweet.
Sick.
All right. Oh yeah, air bubbles and all.